Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Hills on behalf of Kimberly O'Keefe, who is here.
Morning, Your Honor. Gregory Mayer on behalf of Benita Hill. She is not here. It's my understanding the denial process is in order for her, which is why she's not here.
Is that correct?
Your Honor, that is correct. I did speak to Mr. Mayor and indicated that she did not need to appear. We are dismissing the matter against her. He did provide some medical information that made it in the interest of justice to dismiss the case against her.
All right. I will sign that then. You don't have it ready.
I don't have it with me. My office is preparing it. I thought we sent it over, but perhaps not.
Sign it when I get it.
Your Honor, may I be excused then?
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
All right. See you again. And are there any preliminary matters before we begin?
Judge, we do have some stipulations for some exhibits which we have pre-marked with the court staff. We have Defendants Exhibit 1, Defendants Exhibit 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhibit 1 is a screenshot of a video that was provided by the government, which they had listed in discovery as Exhibit 24. Defendants Exhibit number 2 is a video that we provided and had gave the opportunity to the Attorney General's office to watch this morning of a gameplay. And Exhibit 3, 4, and 5 are screenshots from Defendants Exhibit 2.
Those have all been marked.
They've all been marked and they've been stipulated to.
Okay. Just let me know when you introduce them that they're stipulated in the middle.
Yes, Judge.
That easier to get that.
That's fine, Your Honor. We'll have two exhibits that are the same, just two videos.
All right.
I believe, Your Honor, probably the best way to do it is via Zoom playing videos. Is that?
That works for me. I believe that once you're in Zoom, I'll give you the share, or you're going to have them in Zoom. And just share what you have your screen. Assuming technically the audio part works, I believe it does. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Ready to go your first witness?
Your Honor, I think we'll call on Bill.
And sir, if you could approach me, man. Nothing but true story.
I do.
Your witness.
Sir, say your name for the record
My name is Gerald Ulevich,
and spell your last name, please.
Ulewicz.
And where are you employed?
Where I'm employed at the Michigan Gaming Control Board,
How long have you been there?
approximately 10 years.
What's your role, sir, currently with the Gaming Control Board?
I work in the criminal investigation section of the investigation, licensing and investigations. I'm in the criminal investigation section.
That works. And as part of your duties with the criminal investigation section, what do you do?
I will investigate alleged criminal activity, gaming devices. We'll go out in the field and check on gaming devices. I'm working on online gaming.
Okay. Do you have some type of training in gaming devices and things like that?
I have experience in playing gaming devices.
Okay. Did you become at some point familiar with Hill's Tavern?
Yes,
How did you become familiar with Hill's Tavern?
the case was assigned to me after an initial investigation was, I believe, a tip was provided, an anonymous tip, sometime before this, and the case was assigned to me to go investigate machines at Hill's Tavern to see if they were using this illegal gaming device.
And first of all, do you recall when this was approximately?
It was approximately October 4th is when I went. I'm not sure when it was assigned, something before that.
All right. And you said you went to Hill's Tavern.
Yes.
Where's Hill's Tavern?
It's in Michigan Avenue. I didn't read that part, or didn't go over that part.
Okay. Gratiot Road, sound right?
Yeah, that's.
All right. So you went up to Hills Tavern in October of 23. And what did you find when you went there? What is Hills Tavern first?
It's a bar and grill establishment. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay. And what happened when you went inside?
Well, I went inside and I was with a partner at the time. We found a table and I observed a couple of gaming devices inside the place.
When you say gaming devices, what do you mean by gaming devices?
They were similar to that of what a slot machine, my experience with slot machines and the like, it appeared as those. They had reels and they were spinning. It was in demo mode, demonstration mode.
Do you know how many slot machines you saw?
There were 2 machines in the establishment.
Okay. So they were in demo mode, so that means they were turned on.
Yes,
Were they available to play?
yes, they were just inside the place available.
Okay. So demo mode doesn't mean they're in like display mode, it just means that they're on and available to play.
Yeah, they flash snippets of a demonstration game. They show the how the reels look when they spin. Just flashes of different parts of the game.
All right. When you saw that, did you play?
We sat down for a little bit and then decided to play at one point.
Okay. Where were these machines located within the bar?
The door was at the south end. They were on the south wall of the establishment.
Okay, so not behind closed doors or anything like that, just out in the open of the bar?
Yes.
And when you decided you were gonna go play, what'd you do to play? How did that work?
I brought some funds with me. They were issued from the board. And I inserted money into the machine. There was a bill acceptor. I put money into the machine and looked over the information, looked over the available games.
So you're using dollar bills, basically.
Yeah, bills.
And when you put money in the machine, what happened?
Some credits registered on the machine in the credits box on the surface on the screen.
Did the machine itself have anything printed on it, telling you anything about the machine, stuff like that?
Yes, there was a sign up in the, I believe, upper left-hand corner. It said Visa cards only, which in my experience, I took that to mean they pay out in Visa cards.
Thank you. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I didn't do this initially, but people probably would request that witnesses be sequestered if they aren't already.
We would object to that. I wouldn't agree to it. Normally I would, but the witnesses that we have, at least we have one expert that we're going to call as a witness and not a lay witness. And the other witness, I believe, is going to testify about playing the game that he's testifying. Now, he wasn't there at the time of the investigation.
As to the opinion witness that they're gonna offer or propose to offer, is that all right that witness first handle that witness?
Your Honor, I don't see why he would need information that's being provided in this that he would already have, or how he can give an expert opinion on a lay witness's testimony.
Based on what he said.
Yeah.
That would be yeah, so let's go on to the next witness that they talk about. Where is the evidence?
Your Honor, again, I still don't see the purpose or need for a witness to be not sequestered and not be able to bring his own opinion and own information as well, instead of basing it on what's here.
The second witness that you mentioned, what would be the reason for he or she to remain in?
Judge, his name is Tom DeClerc. He's our investigator in this matter. He also is the individual that played the game, which has been recorded and admitted as Defendant's Exhibit 2 by stipulation. He's going to be talking about that gameplay. And I believe that he's going to be discussing, he will be discussing how he got to that gameplay. So he's also the investigator that we've hired to assist us in this matter. Just as Mr. Lassenow is the investigator for the Attorney General's office who's sitting at counsel's table.
I don't have a problem with the opinion witness to remain, or the proposed opinion witness. Assume based. Here. In responses to the.
Yeah, again, I think having witnesses in the courtroom based on other people's testimony gives them, number one, an unfair advantage in terms of what they may say or could say, and changing or potentially altering their testimony based on what they hear. Two, I don't see any basis for them. If he's an investigator, he had an opportunity to investigate this case already. He could have interviewed people. He could have done whatever he needed to do. This is not a time for investigation, and I believe he should be sequestered.
That's the case, Judge, then I would ask that Mr. Lassino be asked to leave.
With the exception of the defense, two witnesses they've indicated that will have, they'll do this restoration order and allow the parties to ensure that's enforced again. Two witnesses that the defense has mentioned may remain. Any other witnesses will be under the sequestration.
Thank you, Judge.
And do your clients want to start with you?
We asked them, Judge, I think they're comfortable there. Did you guys want to consider?
You're comfortable there?
They're good. They're good, and we can communicate with them should we need to.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sorry, you said that there was something about,
On the upper left hand, I think.
yep, with gift cards.
Okay, yes.
And you said your understanding was that means that the games are paid off. Is that accurate?
That's what it's my experience that that's a better.
All right. So you received some credits based on the funds you placed in the machine. And then what did you do?
I looked through the available gaming options on the machine and decided on a game to play. I looked through, selected a game. There were I believe five different themed options to play.
And which game did you play?
It was called Buffalo. I'm having trouble recalling the exact title of the game, but it was a Buffalo game.
Okay. And what happened when you played?
I went through the options and the rules and the pay tables and everything. And I decided to play. So I selected a wagering option from the credits I had on there. I could select, I believe it was up to $25 per spin of the reels. And I selected $3 per spin. I believe that was my wagering option I selected. And I began to play.
And when you begin to play, what does that mean? What do you do?
Once I set my wagering option at $3, I press the button and just.
All right. And the wheels, like on our reels, kind of spinning.
They are reels. There were 3 reels on the screen, and they lined up with 3 horizontal lines. And the middle line was the field lines, and there were 2 lines above and below.
Okay. And based on where symbols fell, you either won or lost.
Okay.
How long did you play the game?
On that occasion, I don't believe it was very long. Maybe 10 to 20 spins somewhere in there.
Okay. And did you win?
I did.
Right. What happened when you won?
I had approximately 90 something dollars left on the machine when I finished. There was some change left over. I decided to cash out. I pressed the button to print ticket, and I printed the ticket. Took the ticket, I went up to the bar, and I cashed out with the employee. They paid me in a Visa gift.
Okay. Were you able to determine who that employee was?
Yes.
Who was it?
Kim O'Keefe.
Okay. And how did you figure that out?
The process to figure out who that was a little bit different. I checked all the license plates in the parking lot, didn't appear there, so, and it was a little bit of a process. So I was looking through, I did an accurate report on the owner of the bar, and I saw that one of the owners had been deceased. So I looked and did a Google search of the obituary for that person. And I found a person named Kim. Took that person and I did some investigating on Facebook on some photographs and determined that was the same person.
All right, is she here today?
Yes.
Where is she?
She is seated second from the aisle. She has glasses on and
Thank you. Sounds like you did some research then into the ownership of the bar and how were you able to determine if there were any other owners?
yes, there was 4 people listed in ownership. And when I saw the Laura files, Laura licensing, you know, things where they have a business registered.
Okay.
And I found there were 4 people. I believe it was Anita Hill, Ricky Hassan. Trying to call these off the top of my head here.
All right, well, with those two, Ms. Hill, were you able to identify and make contact with Ms. Hill
That they don't.
at some point?
No, I never made contact. She was just in my report as the owner.
Okay. And Ms. Hill older?
She was according to records.
What about Mr. Passon?
Mr. Passon was, I can't recall his age right now, but he was an adult. Not what you would consider elderly.
Right. Did you do some research into him?
Yes.
And what did you find?
I found that he was on the files as one of the officers on, there's president, there's the secretary, there's the officers of the business. He was with the officers.
Okay. Would you recognize Mr. Passon?
I never encountered Mr. Passon.
At some point, you continue playing these, you said you cashed out, and what did you do with your ticket?
I took it to the bar, the main bar in the location.
Okay, and what did you do with it there?
I handed it to Miss O'Keefe.
What happened? What was the interaction?
She looked at the ticket and said 90, which rounded down to the, made it an even number, because there was some change involved. And she went into the bar, took out some gift cards, $190 in value of gift cards, and gave them to me.
Did you guys leave the bar after that?
Pretty close.
Okay. Did you do any research into those gift cards?
I did.
And what did you find?
I checked the website to see what the value would be on the cards. That's what they still maintain the value that was on.
Okay. And value matched what she told you it was?
It did advance.
And what type of gift cards were those? Where can they be used?
They were Visa gift cards that could be used for anything, in bills, purchases at stores. It was like just like that.
All right. In these games now, this slot style machine game that you played, do you recognize games like this from your experience?
Yeah. Several occasions. Like, it's very similar machines. Had the same programming, the same name. It was a vanilla Fusion 4 game. It offered the same 5 games. I played the actual same game, the Buffalo game.
Okay. And where else had you played these games?
In other establishments similar to those standards.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I can't recall.
Now, with those games, were you able to make a determination if these were slot style electronic gaming machines?
That's what they were, a slot style.
Okay. And have you, with these similar machines that you'd see in like a licensed casino?
Yes.
Now, did you do any research as to whether Hill's Tavern had any type of casino licensing or anything like that?
I did. I checked with our records, with the Michigan Gaming Control Board. They did not have a license
Not for being a casino,
for being a casino.
not for having an Indian reservation exception or something of that nature?
No exceptions. I don't believe they were actually even in our records.
Now, I believe we'll probably get into this, but have you heard of a redemption game?
Yes.
Can you describe a redemption game?
I can't describe.
All right. Would you say there was a difference between this game? First of all, let me ask you a question, little foundation. Have you been to Dave and Buster's or Little Caesars, or not Little Caesars, but Chuck E. Cheese or something like
I
that?
have.
Okay. And would you consider this game to be the same or different than games you may see at Dave and Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese?
I'm going to object. I don't think he's qualified to answer this. I mean, there are many features to both of these games, and he certainly has not been qualified as an expert in either of these. He's basically testified that he's played this game a handful of times, or similar games a handful of times. I don't believe he's qualified.
He said he's been to Dave and Buster's. I think he can testify whether or not, the court can certainly take whatever value it wants from the response, but I think he has enough information that he's played one game and he's played other games at Dave and Buster's that he can tell you if it's the same or not.
It's a fact. He's a fact.
What is it?
So that was your October trip initially to Hill's Tavern. Do you know, at some point, did you ever go back?
Something I did.
Okay. Do you recall when you went back?
I believe the date was October 10th.
Okay.
October 10th?
I believe, 2024. I can't say exactly. but-
Does April, I believe it would be April.
Oh, yeah, I'm confusing. I went into from confusing my dates.
That's okay. So April 10th somewhere.
That's correct. I got the 10th.
And when you went back to Hill's Tavern, want to make sure we're all on the same page. What happened then? What did you see then? Was anything different?
It did not look any different to me.
Okay. Meaning still have machines there?
The interior was set up in exactly the same way it was in the previous.
Okay. Were the machines still there?
Yes,
Were they still turned on?
yes.
Same number of machines, so just two? Okay. Did you play them again?
I did.
Okay.
The exact same machine, at least in location. It was the same vanilla Fusion 4 game, and I played the exact same local game. The previous time.
You're calling it a vanilla Fusion 4, right? What is that?
It's like the maker of the games. It creates the program for the game.
So it's basically the manufacturer of it. And how do you know it's that type of game?
It says it on the game.
All right. And is that specific to, would that be specific to that type of machine, that type of game, or is that specific to, well, best word this? Let me use my computer, for example. I have I don't know what this is, Dell. Let's just say it's a Dell Latitude, okay? I don't know either. Which is, there's probably 100,000 Dell Latitudes in existence, right? Or more, who knows? Is that Fusion 4 specific to like a Dell Latitude, or is that specific to that specific game, which would be there's only one of them in existence?
I'm going to object. I mean, he's getting into, I believe, the software of the game itself, and what the manufacturer of vanilla does with each game. It's definitely not been qualified for that. He's, from what I can tell, a fact witness.
You just find out who the manufacturer of the game is. Manufacturer.
No, the purpose is, and I can probably ask the question in a better way, just to say, have you seen these vanilla fusion fours anywhere else?
Yes,
Okay, so this isn't a specific game to vanilla fusion four, they produce a mass variety of games, is that,
yes, the design and everything.
thank you. So you played again,
Yes.
and how did it go?
I played the game similar to the way I did before. I wasn't able to build my counter bank credits. I wasn't able to build them up as quick as I was the previous time, so I had to play a little bit longer. And I ended up cashing out. I believe my credits are at $26. I cashed out for $25. Printed the ticket, same scenario. Went up to the bar, and did the same. Basically.
And when this happened, so you played the game for a little longer this time, you said?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how many times you played the game? Okay. And do you know how many times you've played this game over the course of your experience as a investigator?
Several times I've seen that exact same style, vanilla Fusion 4 game. And should I give a range of?
Sure, give us a range. Or just give us a range of number of times you played.
Approximately 10.
Okay. And over those course of that 10 times, has your gaming improved? Have you become better at the game?
No.
Has your skill, improved over those 10 times to the point where you're able to win more often than you were when you initially started playing?
No. Push the button.
All right. At any point did you throw, push, pull anything to win the game? Any type of ball, lever?
To win the game?
Yes.
There were occasions on the during my gameplay when the middle pay line that I spoke about earlier, the horizontal pay line, and the three reels in the middle. Two of the icons would line up, and one of them wouldn't. And I would have to press an illuminated raise the lower button to complete that line.
Okay, so there's no lever or ball or anything like that. You're just pushing an illuminated light on the screen.
Yes.
Was it blatantly obvious, or was this like a secret thing?
No, light would flash. Whatever direction or whatever I was supposed to do, whatever button I was supposed to push was flashing. Illuminated.
What's the Zoom ID?
740. 782.
All right, I'm gonna show you what's people's proposal one, which is your original gameplay video.
Is there sound on this, sir? So we'll play it on the record. And this you said was proposed.
Yes. From October. You recognize this video? And
You have also, would you also have a hard copy of the,
I don't have a hard copy. All I have is the digital version of it.
We can put it on our flash drive, so the court has it.
arrange it? Just identify it. And as, you said what date again?
This is October 4th,
October 4 video
2023. Sorry.
2023. And that will have as people's proposed exhibit number 6. We're gonna, I guess it's right.
All of them. A and no, 1 and A. Okay.
I'll be on it.
I don't know, I wasn't party to the exhibits that we're in. So if we're gonna take them in order, there are some that are already marked.
Those are fine. No, but those are other defense exhibits. I only have the 2 videos.
That's fine, then we'll call this people's proposed exhibit number 6. We go in order of numbers,
That's fine.
so, just so it's identified, we know what it is, October 4, 2023, video, proposed exhibit number 6. Is this stipulated to, by the way?
Yeah, no objection.
Yeah,
So-
I believe.
As number 6.
We'll also stipulate the people's proposed exhibit 7, which will be the second gameplay that was in April.
April
April.
10th, 2024.
Okay. We'll worry about I guess the hard copy of it later. We've identified it. April 10, video number 7. Both will be omitted.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead.
All right, you said you recognize this,
Yes,
and what are we looking at?
looking at the game screen, the game I played, the machine I played.
All right.
Yeah, it's good. I'm good to go. Hey, Jimbo. So I had to meet with the bank today. I went in there yesterday meeting with got people that asked, well, what did we do with it? They said, well, we scanned it, but we can't guarantee it went to the right place. You're gonna tell me that at a bank?
2 years ago,
You asked me to tell me.
you guys fucking not doing that shit.
I had a meeting today, and, John had it set up, so September 28th was the last payment because he got the vehicle in October. So there was no more payments gonna come out, but I didn't know that because I didn't see it. So I took the number that. So that is the right way. Well, they sent me the last one. Yep. I got mine here.
I want a minor. It's $21. No, this time I'm in the bonus again. Touch the buffalo. I want to say that buffalo. $3. Come on. That's 7 games. I got the $95. I put in 20. I'll play down.
Credits, you got $66.
Take away 20 because I won some other money. That's how much I have. I'll go down to. See, you got to raise it. I'm just gonna lower that one and cash out.
Play that video.
Is this still on?
It's the same, it's just continuation, we'll kind of bring it up.
All right, thank you.
Oh, maybe not. Play that again. I'm cashing. Just hit the print ticket. Sometimes it takes a minute. Are you sure? Here it is. That's alright. Yep.
Oh, she's trying to get a ticket out. Just taking a second, I guess.
Sweet. By somebody's. Well, I put in 20, so $70. Thank you. What was your name?
My name is Kim.
Kim. Thank you very much, Kim. All right.
Now, that was your first time at Hill Tower, correct?
Yes.
And when you were playing the game, you seemed to be doing pretty well.
I did.
Was that because of something you were doing?
I did nothing but push the button.
All right, and when you kept winning over and over and over again, it looked like, were you pushing the button multiple times, or was it just doing it kind of on its own?
No, I pushed it every time to make the wheels spin.
Okay. And then when you got to the bonus, was that something you had to do too, or was that a kind of an automatic thing?
It depends on which bonus. The first one had misaligned rails. It's two on the pay line and one just below or under it. Push the eliminated button to have it do the same.
All right, I'm gonna put in now what is pivot 2. 7, sorry. Thank you. You're back now on April 10th?
Yes,
Same game,
same game,
same area?
same area, same. No fusion.
Yeah, and another guy, I wanted to rent one big filter.
Hi, Buzz. Yeah, sure. Hamburger. Cheeseburger. Yes.
Oh, I got an magic. I'm thinking.
You're right on that.
Good ponder here. Anything different about the game now? Well, say now on your April 10th visit than there was back on your October 5th.
Yes, I had to, instead of just being able to press the spin button to move the game to the next game, I had to hit raise or lower any of the raise or lower buttons just to get to the next game, even on that.
So is that because you chose a different game, or is that because the game, to your understanding, been altered?
The game,
I think there's lack of foundation and speculation.
I'm gonna ask foundation questions. Did you choose the same game
yes,
on the same machine?
yes,
And was there any difference in the order or operations that you chose the game to play?
yes.
There was a difference?
No, the game to play? No.
Okay, so everything, I guess, basically in your initial setup or startup would have been the same for the October 5th and the April 10th visit?
Correct.
Yeah, the games were kind of different.
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead. And you were saying that what was the difference?
The first time I played, I just had to hit the spin button, move to the next game. In this instance, I had to hit any of the raise or lower buttons, and then press the spin button after the raise or lower to move to the next game. On any of the games, even losing games or whatever it was, I just hit press a raise or lower button.
And previously, you only had to push the raise or lower button if it was illuminated to win.
If it was eliminated, I didn't press the
Okay. Anything else that you noticed about this game being different specifically?
everything else appeared to be the same.
All right. How'd you do this time?
I did not win like I did on the first one. I seemed to have keep bonuses in the first game play, the first time I played. This time it took me a little bit to just get a little bit.
Is there anything you could have done to improve your skill so you would have won more?
No.
So I just want to be clear, in this game that you have in front of you now, April, you had to push a raise or lower button to continue to the next game. Is that what you said?
Yes.
All right. You couldn't just say, next game, skip that step?
No, it was just, I did the spin button and nothing would happen until I pressed the raise.
Okay. What if you were on, back in October 23, if you had pushed the spin button again, would it have just moved on?
Judge, I think that's speculation.
Based on his play. So,
I'll know.
I would, if there was a configuration or the button was illuminated and it said I would need to raise one of the reels or lower one of the reels to complete a win, I couldn't move on until I did that. I did the press spin button and it wouldn't, the game wouldn't go to the next game. It would wait for me to hit that illuminated raise or lower button. Once that win was complete, I could then press the spin button again and move on to the next game.
okay. So only if it was a win that you needed to make an adjustment for, would you have to push the raise or lower button? But if the game wouldn't move on, you're saying until you did that.
Yes.
And here, same issue, you would have to push the raise or lower button before, regardless if it was a winner or loss.
Well, on this instance, on the second date that I played, it did allow me, I checked and it did allow me on configuration where one of the buttons was illuminated, the raise or lower button. I pressed the spin button and this reels moved on to the next game.
But it would only do that if it was illuminated?
No, it would still, I always had to press one of the raise or lower buttons. None of them would be illuminated on where there wasn't a configuration that may result in a win. But if there was one, a win on the board, it did allow me to press the button and move on to the next game.
So if there was a possible win, there would be an illumination.
Yes,
And if that button was illuminated, would you be able to move on to the next game?
after pressing,
After
yes.
pressing, but not without this.
No, no.
After you played this game, you said you cashed out again?
Yes,
Same way you got gift cards?
yes.
How much did you get in gift cards this time?
I got $25.
All right, I think we heard you got 90 first time.
First time was mine.
Okay, so, obviously you won more the first time you said.
Yes.
Your Honor, I don't think I have anything further for this witness.
Right. Who wants to go
Judge, I'm gonna go first. I'm just gonna ask
for the record, then you're.
Matt Newberg. And I'm just gonna go on one topic and then Mr. Hills is gonna cover the rest. I would ask, I probably should have done this earlier, Judge, just that I know the court called the case twice, but if there's an objection by one lawyer, that also apply to both defendants.
If there's a reason to separate.
I will, Judge, thank you. Okay. Is it Mr. Ulewit? How do you say your last name? Ulevich, thank you. My name is Matt Newberg and I represent Ricky Passon. I just want to talk to you about a couple things that actually they don't cover your gameplay, but they cover some of the things you testified today. Do you recall the questioning about, from Mr. Hayes about how you identified the owners of the bar
Yes,
and who was associated with the bar? Do you recall those questions?
yes,
And he asked you essentially, were you able to determine the owners of the bar? And you said yes. You recall that? And you said that you ran a Lara search, correct?
Yes.
And Lara is licensing and regulatory affairs.
Yes.
That department, I'm sure that you know, is the one that essentially manages LLCs, businesses in the state of Michigan, right?
Yes.
Which is why you would have gone there to look for ownership, right?
Yes.
And that's what signifies who the true owners of the bar, correct? All right. And you indicated to Mr. Hayes that the owners of the bar, based on your search, were Bonita Hill and Ricky Passon. Do you recall that?
Yes, there were titles might have been a little bit, they appeared on the leadership board of the board.
Okay. And you took the results of your search with Lara, the licensing and regulatory affairs, and you put that in your report, didn't you?
They did along.
Some other stuff, right? And you authored a report, and you signed that report, right?
Yes.
You signed it on October 17th of 2023, right?
Yes.
And that report accurately reflects the search that you did in Lara as it relates to the owners of the bar, right?
Yes.
Your report does not say that Ricky Passon is the owner of the bar, does it?
Listed as someone on the, associated with the ownership of the board.
Okay, so it's your testimony now that in your report, you listed Ricky Passon as either the president, treasurer, secretary, or director of the bar?
I have to use my report to look at, because I copied it down from what Laura said.
I've got a copy of your report. If now I approach, I can show you the report, point you in the right direction, and you can tell me
Sure.
if I'm right. I'm going to show you page 3 of your original report. And I actually have your Lara search there highlighted. Just take a look at it and let me know if that reflects your recollection as to what you saw.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
From where yes, it was only Bonita Hill listed there.
Right. So Bonita Hill is listed as the president, right?
Yes.
The treasurer, right?
Yes.
The secretary
Yes.
and the director.
Yes.
Mr. Passon does not appear anywhere as the owner of the bar, correct?
Under the Lara information. No.
Okay. So you're alluding to your accurate search then, right?
Well, I also used the liquor control information.
Sure. We can talk about that. The testimony that you gave, though, was that through Lara, you determined that Mr. Passon was the owner of the bar, right?
That was part of one of my searches. Yes.
But he wasn't.
Not on the Lara.
Okay. And you also did a accurate search, right?
It is.
And that's in your report, right?
It is information.
Is Mr. Passon listed as an executive for Hills Tavern? Do you
I
recall?
don't know.
Would you like me to refresh your recollection of your report? Okay. Highlighted there. This would be page 4 of your report. Executive and prior executives.
Yes, executive Lara. This is my.
Yeah, you can flip to page 3.
Prior executives, executive, previous ownership.
Right. And the previous ownership is just to the property, right?
It's the address.
Okay. And it says previous owner is Ricky Passon, right?
Sure.
Okay.
And Bonita.
And Bonita Hill, correct. She's listed as the executive and owner of Hills Tavern
And then she was listed as the previous owner of the property.
of the property, right?
Prior executive.
Okay. But also listed as owner of Hills Tavern Incorporated.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you look the Liquor Control Commission, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Passon is listed as an active shareholder for the liquor license, right?
That's what it says in the report.
Okay. All right. During the course of your investigation, did you find any documentation that listed Mr. Passon or Miss O'Keefe as the owners of those machines?
No.
Did you find any documentation that listed Mr. Passon or Miss O'Keefe as somebody who leased those machines?
No.
Did you find any documentation linking Mr. Passon or Miss O'Keefe to those machines?
No.
Did you find any keys that would allow, inside the bar, that would allow Mr. Passon or Miss O'Keefe to access the interior of that machine?
No.
Did you ever see Miss O'Keefe or Mr. Passon remove any money from those machines? Did you have any interaction with Mr. Passon at all during the course of your investigation?
I didn't.
I don't have anything further, so Mr. Hills.
You were at Hill's Tavern on this investigation twice, October 4th, 2023 and April 10th, 2024, is that right?
That's correct.
Have you ever been to Hill's Tavern before that?
No.
Ever been there after that?
No.
During the, in between those times, were you ever at Hill's Tavern? So those were the only two times you were at Hill's Tavern?
Yes.
And these were the only two interactions you've had with a person that you talked about, Kimberly O'Keefe.
That's correct.
Now, prior to going on site on October 4th, 2023, had you played, you call them nudge machines, you nudge these machines, you testified about that.
I didn't mention nudge today, but I am aware of nudge machines.
Okay. And so this is a nudge machine, you have to touch a portion of the screen to nudge the symbol up or down.
Correct.
Okay. So prior to this case, had you had any experience with a nudge machine?
Yes.
All right. And is this the approximately 10 times you played these games?
Yes.
And is that including the Hills Tavern?
No.
All right. So for about how long a period of time did this take to play these approximately 10 games?
I've been assigned to the criminal investigations unit for approximately 8 years. Over the course of those 8 years,
So,
on occasion, maybe
so maybe once a year, roughly? Sounds like.
the 10 times I'm talking about were the vanilla Fusion 4 games.
Okay.
I played many other games.
Okay. So specifically related to these games, approximately once a year, maybe?
If you spread it out, sure.
But you can't give us a time frame. All right. Have you had any formal training on the vanilla games that you're talking about?
Just trying to think of the courses and classes I've taken. I've been sent to classes and I've been to Las Vegas for courses and classes. No.
Okay. So you've never had any formal training on how to play these games?
No.
So it's just been you go into a local bar or establishment and you play the game like you played it here?
Yes.
That's essentially been your training, in the field training, if you will?
Yes.
And I don't know, I didn't add it up, but it seems like maybe 8 to 10 minutes total on these two games, plays, roughly. That sound about right?
I've played many similar games in casinos too. I mean, I spent hours and hours.
I'm just asking about these two games.
These two games?
Yeah.
On these two occasions?
Roughly 4 minutes apiece-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the similar type of gameplay that you've done in the past for your investigation?
It is.
So prior to going into this game, or into the Hills establishment, did you have any specific training, any specific watch a video on these games, anything like that?
I looked at some of the stuff online. I checked out a couple of videos, YouTube videos.
Which YouTube videos did you check out?
Well, from the manufacturer, I believe, manufacturer's videos.
Okay, from Vanilla Games?
Yes.
All right. And were those instructional videos?
Just go over and show you the game as it is being played, and show you the symbols as they align.
So are you confident that you're familiar with all the features of this game that you played?
As far as playing the game, yes.
Okay, you're confident that you're familiar with all the features of the games you played at Hills 10?
I don't know every configuration, if that's what you're asking, of a winning configuration of the screen. I don't have those, so.
No, I'm not asking about that. I'm asking for the general features of the game, how you play the game.
Yes,
So you're confident that you know how to play the general features of the entire game?
yeah.
You're confident of that because of your in the field training or in your in the field experience and watching a video from the website.
I've observed other patrons play to see.
Okay. On these two instances, when you went into the bar, did you observe any other patrons playing these games?
The first time I went, I seen some other woman playing. In fact, she was at the bar and asked how I did.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Did you videotape your entire gameplay both times?
I caught everything, yes.
Okay. But it sounds like you didn't videotape from the moment you stepped into the bar until the moment you left the bar.
No, you know.
You started your videotape after you arrived at the
Yes, I did.
bar. And how long, let's just take the first time. How long after you arrived did you start taping?
Well, in the partner that day, we would sit down, order something to drink, maybe some food, and then sometime after ordering the food, or after I ate the food, I'm not sure.
Okay. 5-10 minutes?
Let's say 5 to 10 minutes. Sure.
You indicated that you got there, you ordered some food, got some drinks,
Yes,
and that was from Miss O'Keefe.
yes,
She was the waitress at the time.
on both occasions.
On both times, she was waitstaff, yeah.
Yes,
And she took your orders, got your drinks, as you indicated, cast you out,
yes.
and gave her a tip, I hope. Doesn't make much money as waitstaff, so
Sure.
it was very nice of you. So both times you played the game, you redeemed the ticket out of the machine.
Yes.
And then went up to the bars and saw, and Miss O'Keefe, looked like she was the only waitress there.
I don't know.
Did you see any other waitress there?
I don't recall.
Okay. And your ticket says how much you won, or how much you received back in gift cards?
Yes.
She gave you that amount.
Well, it would be rounded to the nearest amount she could get denominations of gift cards.
Okay.
And there wasn't any change, there wasn't any dollar variance of a gift card either, so it would have to be in increments of, I think, 5 or 10
Okay.
or more. They had more than that too. They had $20, $25, $50, $100.
Okay, but she didn't give you any cash.
No,
She just gave you the gift cards.
Yes,
And I think you testified that Hill's Tavern is it's a legitimate business, LLC, it's in good order.
yes,
It had a liquor license at the time, that's in good order.
yes,
I think you checked the lotto license, that's in good order. So at the time, Ms. O'Keefe was working at a waitress, a legitimate state recognized business, had a valid liquor license and exchanged gift card for the ticket.
yes,
You've got no evidence that Ms. O'Keefe ordered these gift cards for the machine. No evidence that Ms. O'Keefe controlled how many gift cards were on hand at the bar.
no,
We know that Ms. O'Keefe is not an owner of the bar.
not from my list.
You have no information that she's the president, treasurer, secretary, stockholder, shareholder, executive, non-executive.
I do not have any.
Don't have any information that she owns the land at the bar.
That's correct.
She's not the resident agent,
That's correct.
not an active stockholder, not an inactive stockholder. She's not on the liquor license. Talked about the lottery license, not on the lottery license.
That's correct.
You have no information that she ordered these games into them.
That's correct.
No information that she leased these games.
No,
No information that she rented these games. No information that she had any agreement with Vanilla or anybody else regarding these games.
No.
No information that she could retrieve any cash out of these games. She did not instruct you how to play these games. As I think co-counsel didn't have no information she had any keys or access to the inner workings of the game. You were at the bar twice, both on Wednesdays, did you know that?
I don't recall. Okay,
Okay, all right. And apparently Miss O'Keefe was working those 2 days.
correct.
Okay? Do you know if she's a part-time,
I do not,
full-time?
I do not know.
Do you know if those are the only 2 times she has ever worked at that?
I do not know.
You know, if she was just filling in those 2 days.
I do not know.
You have no evidence that she created any procedure for the employees of the bar to distribute gift cards.
I do not.
You played this game twice. The first time, we have Exhibit 6, was on October 4th, 2023. Is that correct?
That's correct.
2 similar machines in the bar. Is that right?
That's correct.
You put in, same for the second time. They're the same, well, there are 2 machines there.
Right.
Okay. 2 machines in the same spot on both times.
Correct.
They look to be similar machines.
Right.
And you mentioned different themes. They had different theme games within the game that you played. Is that right?
That's right.
Plundering, pirates, the Great Train Robbery, Piggy's Bank game, things like that.
Believe it or 5 different.
Okay. And you played the Buffalo game, Red Hot Buffalo,
Example.
both times.
Well,
Okay. And did you know that the Follow the Banana game was available, or that feature was available?
No.
Okay. Let me ask you. would show you what's been stipulated and marked as defendant's exhibit 1, which is a screenshot from exhibit 7. It's the second time you went there. Okay. Now, have you had a chance to look at the screenshot?
Yes,
Can you make out the bottom, the very, well, make out at the bottom where it says bananas.
I don't know what that word is.
Okay,
Honestly, I can't see what the word is.
all right. Have you ever examined that through your video?
No,
Did you ever notice that feature at the bottom?
didn't notice anything. I didn't notice that.
Okay, did you know that the follow the banana feature was on the vanilla website?
I went through all the rules and instructions and the gameplay stuff, but I just went through the game and played it the way I was playing it.
Okay, so do you remember on the website seeing the video about the follow the banana?
I just looked at the main way to play the game, and that's basically what I looked at.
Okay, so if, I'll just say this, if the banana feature is available, as it appears to be on this, you didn't know about it. Here,
I clicked through the screens and I didn't pay attention to that.
if the follow the banana game was available on your play, you didn't know about
I didn't, I wasn't paying attention to that.
it. Okay, so are you aware that the follow the banana game, are you familiar with Simon, the game Simon? It has different colors, it's a kid's game, and you follow the pattern. It beeps in different colors, and you have to follow the pattern.
I don't recall that game.
Okay. Are you familiar with, well, I guess we'll leave it there. If there's a feature on here to follow the banana, you are not aware.
I was playing the game the way I played it. I was playing the game.
Okay. Well, if it was there, and it is there, we learned something today about how to play the game, right?
I don't recall anything about the follow the game.
Well, if there's another feature available to play the game, you didn't know about it. So there's another possibility in this game.
I didn't pay attention. I don't think I paid attention.
Okay. So you didn't pay attention to all the possible features of the game.
I clicked through, so I had on the screen.
Okay. So let's talk about how you did play the game. So in order to play this game, you have to put money in the game, correct?
Yes.
And you get credits for the money that you put in.
Yes.
Then you have to start the game. You pick the theme, right?
I did.
Okay, you pick the buffalo. All right. And then you can pick the amount wagered. You indicated $3.
$3 first time, I believe, 2 the second time.
Okay. Then you hit the spin,
I did.
and then it automatically stops.
Stop.
Okay. And this is what you say. It's a slot style game.
Yes.
Okay. Slot machine. You hit the reel. It stops. You win or you lose. Right.
Not in every instance. But
Well, that's the typical slot machine, right? You hit the button, slot comes, and it stops, or you stop it, and you win or you lose. You get paid out, or you.
I've seen them in different ways. I've seen ones that the reels will go up or down too. In casinos.
Right. They go up or down, they stop, and you win or lose. Okay. In this game, you have to engage the game in order to win or lose. To determine if you. Well, let me ask. I'll step back. That was a slot. So we're on the Buffalo game. In order to play the Buffalo game, you hit the button and the reels spin. And the button that you're hitting is on the
deck.
on the deck, right? So I'll give you what so that we can, so that the court can see it. Show you marked as defense 5. I'll give the court a copy of it too, so it is. Just so we can all see what we're talking about. So this is Red Hot Buffalo, game you played.
Correct.
All right. And at this particular stage, the game, there's 3 reels across the game, right?
Yeah.
And they're stopped at this point.
I think so. It's a still picture.
It's a still picture, so it looks like they're stopped. How's that?
Yeah.
All right. And then when you say the deck down below in the console, there are 2 buttons. One of the buttons to the right is kind of covered up by somebody's hand, but there's a button there, right?
Yeah, there's a button.
And that's the button you hit to spin.
Yes.
Okay. So after you spin, there's a timer. Is that correct?
Yes.
And if you let the time go, in other words, you don't do an action within the time, you will lose.
I didn't pay attention to that.
So you're not familiar with the timeout feature.
I didn't use anything like that. I didn't pay attention to it. I just played the game. When you played this, I thought it would.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. I watched the videos. You never waited 30 seconds to make a move. Is that right?
Probably.
Okay. So none of your games were timed out.
Probably not.
Okay. But there is a timer for some reason.
Sure.
All right. And you don't know if the timer runs that you lose your bet.
Didn't pay attention.
Okay. So after the reels stop, as the timer is running, you need to take an action. Or you did take an action, right? On each game.
I took actions. Yes, I either press the spin button, or press the raise, eliminate the raise or move button.
Okay. And on this, I'll call it a permutation. You talked about a raise or a lower tab that's illuminated.
Yes.
There isn't one that's illuminated on this particular permutation.
No.
But if there was one, that would indicate to you, I think you testified, that that's a hint that there's a winner.
I had to press that to yes.
Okay,
The first time it was different, and the second time.
we'll get to that. So if it's illuminated, if the raise or if a raise or a lower is illuminated, that signals to you, that's a hint that there's a winner. Is that right?
It signals to me I needed to push that. The first time it was playing, I had to do that in order to move along with the game.
I'm just asking if the button is illuminated, does it indicate that it's a winner?
There's a potential completion of the play, of the pay line, yes.
All right. And in order to line up the pay line, you have to hit that target, hit the illuminated button.
That's what would happen.
Okay. So before you can potentially win, you have to recognize that hint and take your finger and hit that target on the screen.
Right.
Okay. And if there isn't one illuminated, you could still hit one of these raise or lower buttons.
I didn't have to or try on the first time. I didn't, but if I had to hit a raise or lower button the second time.
Okay. So when you talk about let me ask you this. The first time you played, you tried to, you had a winning permutation, you had a winning puzzle possibility with an illuminated button that you could push, right? And instead, you hit the play on button on the counter. It wouldn't let you play on. And then you went back and you hit the raise button, or the one that was illuminated and won. And then when you went the second time, into your indicated that you, with a winning permutation, with a winning possibility, with the illuminated raise button or lower, you hit the wrong button
Which time was it?
the second time,
Second time? I did do that.
and it allowed you to lose.
I hit the spin button. Spin button, and it allowed it to move on. First time, when I hit the spin button, it wouldn't allow me to move on until I pressed the illuminated button. Made the win on the screen. Second time, I tried that same thing, pressed the spin button again. And it rolled to the next game. When there was an illuminated razor lower button, and when we used the second time I was there, I did attempt once to see it, press the spin button, and the game would move on to the next one without payout. I did do that.
All right, so do you know which time that was? So look, I've got it marked here.
Yeah, I don't think I marked it.
So can we go to
Zoom. Playing the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is gonna be jerk. It's the same video. It's the same video. It's.
Why don't we take a break?
I'm sorry, I thought it was plugged in easy.
Yeah,